All right, let's talk about fasted cardio. A lot of people want to know what fasted cardio is and does it actually burn more fat than doing cardio at any other time of day. But before we talk about what the science is behind it, let's talk about first what fasted cardio is. Fasted cardio is a really simple concept. The concept is that on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning, you go and do your cardio. And the claim is that it burns more fat than doing cardio at any other time per day. Now, here is the science. Let's talk about this a little bit. So let's just look at cardio for a second, and let's talk about how your body actually uses energy when you're doing cardio. So if you can think of a timeline from 0 minutes to 60 minutes, okay? From 0 to 20 minutes, your body is primarily using carbs as energy, okay? And so that's what your body is actually using whenever you're doing your cardio. Now that's given that you're working at a certain heart rate and a certain intensity, okay? From 20 minutes to 60 minutes, your body actually starts to burn fat, okay? Which is what we all want. We all want to burn fat when we do our cardio. Again, that's given that you're working at a certain heart rate and a certain intensity, okay? So now that we know that, and then from 60 minutes on, your body actually starts to use protein as energy, and that's what you don't want, because that's when you start to eat away at your muscles. That's why you see these marathon runners who, they're really lean, but they have no muscle at all, and it's because they basically have eaten away at their muscles. Now I'm talking about the elite marathon runners, right? So these elite marathon runners have very little muscle mass because they basically run over 60 minutes and they've eaten away at their muscle, okay? So for ideal fat loss, you want to do cardio between 20 and 60 minutes. Now that study is very general. That was done with somebody who, you know, worked out later in the day, or ate, and they did the testing later in the day, okay? So now let's talk about how that relates to fasted cardio. Now, in the first thing in the morning, when you wake up, you're actually at your lowest carbohydrate levels that you will be for the entire day. You're at your lowest at that point, okay? So the theory is, if you're at your lowest carbohydrate levels, then you want to take advantage of that. So that way your body doesn't have to spend 20 minutes burning those carbs. You can actually get to burning fat much faster. So for example, if you do 30 minutes of cardio, instead of it taking 20 minutes for your body to shift over to start burning fat, because you're doing it in the morning on a low carbohydrate level, your body's gonna shift over to burning fat maybe at the 10-minute mark or the 15-minute mark. So you'll burn more fat in a shorter amount of time, okay? That's the theory, and it makes a lot of sense logically with science. However, here's the kicker. What they've done is they've actually done studies on this to check to see which burns more fat, doing cardio in the morning, fasted, or doing it later in the day. And really it all came down to a person's personal preference, okay? I'll say it again, it comes down to a person's personal preference. There are some people who actually can work at a really, really high rate on an empty stomach. And for them, fasted cardio actually works really well. But there are some people who 15 minutes into their cardio session, they get so hungry that their performance levels actually start to drop pretty significantly. Well, obviously those people that aren't performing that well, they're not going to burn that much fat. So really it all comes down to where you can actually work out the hardest and perform the best. And so if fasted cardio works for you and you can work at a really high level and a high intensity, then do fasted cardio. But if it can't work for you and you get too hungry or you just have better cardio sessions at night, then that's the best thing to do. Too many people try to find the best time to work out and what you should do. It all comes down to how, number one, can you actually do it? And number two, how is your body actually responding to it? So I hope that answers your question about fasted cardio, and hopefully you have all your answers that you need and you can figure out which one works for you. Thanks for watching, guys.